Hey guys, it's Morgan. Welcome back to another bike video series. I am so excited to let you guys know that we are going to be taking a very deep dive into this 2022 Beta 200RR race. I am so thankful for Garrett Anderson, who has loaned us this motorcycle. It does have a few hours on it. Let's see. It has 11.4 hours on it. So it's basically brand new. It does have a lot of things done to it already. So we will be going through all that here today. We're going to talk about this thing. We're going to do a full look, walk around, probably going to be taking the tank off, diving into that, like looking at the cylinder, the head, the spark plug, all that good stuff, kind of like we did with the 23 300 XC. So yeah, join us for the series. Make sure you subscribe, guys, because it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be taking this thing out and testing it in the real world. We're going to be talking all about it, what I feel about it, how I like it, how it stacks up against all the other bikes that I've ridden. Yeah, we're going to be going super deep into this thing. So let's get to it. All right, so let's start with what has been done to this motorcycle above stock. Obviously, it is not stock anymore. Garrett went ahead and did a ton of stuff on it before we decided to do this video series. So let's start with guards. We got bulletproof designs. Oh no, yeah. So let's start with guards. It's interesting. Beta and Bulletproof Designs have worked out some sort of deal that you can only buy Bulletproof Designs guards for these bikes through a Beta dealer or Beta USA. So it does have Bulletproof Designs radiator guards, and it's got Bulletproof Designs rear disc guard and caliper guard. Definitely some of my favorite stuff. As far as skid plate, we have an AXP, I believe. Yeah, so we have an AXP plastic skid plate with linkage guard. Very good skid plates. They're from France. I'm technically a dealer. I just don't stock them anymore because they were... you had to order a whole bunch at a time to get to make it make sense. They wouldn't send them to you unless you ordered a ton of them. So fair enough. We've got Cycra Pro Bend hand guards on there. You guys know I'm more of a fan of the Enduro Engineering flags, but these are very good if you want full wraps and super strong. You see, he's got a cool that thing protector for the computer. I'm not sure who makes that. Something Tech. Something. Anyway, someone comment in here, let us know who makes that. But that thing's nice, because if you took a big hit, the computer's definitely going to break, and that would protect that for sure. We have, let's see, Bulletproof Designs swing arm guard, and I think that looks like a Churbis. Let's get this thing up in the air. Chain guide. 1 second. I am honestly not 100% sure who makes that chain guide, but it is a nice plastic one. I wish they would get those things out to for the new 23 300s, because they still don't have a plastic one that I know of. If you guys know of, comment, because I'd love to get one. Stock foot pegs, but they are big and wide from Beta. Honestly, one of the things he doesn't like about these foot pegs is that they are slippery. That I will weigh in on that on my own, but just so you know, that's what Garrett says. He thinks they're a little too slippery. Does not have a fan on it. I don't know that he'll run one because it is a 202-stroke thing. He doesn't ride it in hard enduro. He's got a different bike for that stuff. Really nice. It comes with Excel Takasago rims, which are very nice rims. They are strong. I like them a lot. It's what came on YZs forever. They might still come on YZs, but really nice. FMF Turbine Core 2.1. Honestly, I love these silencers. I'd like to get one for my new bike, but I don't know. They might have it out by now. I got to check. But I like them. They're nice and quiet, but they flow really well, so it doesn't really slow the bike down. It's not quite as good as having just a straight through exhaust, but it's spark arrestor legal, which we have to have here, and it's nice and quiet, which I like personally. Let's see. We've got the, I think it's Carapax. I think these are from Poland, a stainless steel foot brake pedal, which are really nice. It's what I put onto my 23. Thank you, First Track Moto for that. Thank you guys so much. We have TBT valving. We valved this thing and set it up here with TBT valving specs. We put a beta bladder kit on the shock and then did full revalve on the KYBs. Now this bike is a 22, so it came with KYB forks, but a SAC shock. The 23s have a KYB shock, which is nice. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, Garrett bought a bike a year early. But, you know, whatever. It just happens. No one knew that there were going to come KYBs in the back. Let's see. Stock pipe on it so far. Hasn't bent that thing up too bad. Got a cool guy beta pull for the front axle. Honestly, front and rear rotors are nice. They're definitely cast rotors, but they've been machined on the outside, just like all the KTMs. So they look cool and billet, which is awesome. All right, now let's dive in. Oh, tires. He's running, just so you know, he's got mousses, nitro mousses in him. He's running Bridgestone X31s front and rear. So those are what we're going to be testing it with. Now let's kind of dig into the nuts and bolts on just what it would take to maintain this bike. Little things that I always like to look at when I'm buying a new bike or thinking about a new bike. First and foremost, air filter. You guys know, if you watch this channel enough, how much I whine and complain about people not taking care of their air filters. So let's see how easy or hard Beta has made that. So we go here. Yeah. There we go. All right, so that's not bad. It's like about anything these days with these pull things, are kind of stiff. Looks like Beta went the route that KTM basically did. So we're gonna just go like that. And then, boom. That's nice. Works good. I like this style air filter cage with the two little nubbins. It's really hard to mess it up. Garrett's obviously done a great job. He's got grease around that thing, sealing it up nice and well. It does look like it is asymmetrical, so there's definitely a right and a wrong way to go in there. So let's see.
A few moments later.
All right, jockeying that thing back into place is kind of a pain in the butt. It's not I mean, the good thing is it's hard to get it like out of place, probably almost impossible because of the two pins, but it was kind of a pain in the butt to get that back on there. Definitely takes two hands and some finagling, but it goes on there. It's all good. Reach back in here, you can tell it's definitely sealed really well. So that's awesome. I like that a lot. One thing that a lot of Beta people like, and I think it's a great idea too, is the seat removal. It's just this guy. There we go. So that is honestly pretty cool, having that be just a button. I have seen these wear out, but man, it takes a really long time before that happens. And this one actually looks better. It's a new design. It's got a steel, like, not a cable, but like a push thing. Anyway, that seems like that's going to be really good. I like that a lot. Looks like it comes with a lithium battery stock. And then this is nice. This is nice and clean. Not a lot going on up here. One thing I love about this Beta is that it has a carburetor. It's got a key-in, PWK, and you get to mix gas. I like that. You get to mix the oil in the gas, and I think that is super rad. Let's take the tank off and go down. So that, honestly, guys, is a little bit not my favorite thing. This is the map switch, which is cool, whatever. But I don't like that that's attached and you have to kind of pop this thing off for the tank to come off. I mean, it comes off just fine. And I could, I guess, well, you got to take, yeah, so you got to take this off, then you can put it back on, which we're definitely going to do so we don't get anything in there. But I don't love that. That's not my favorite thing. No big deal, though. Definitely not a game, definitely not a deal breaker, but kind of interesting. All right, so let's take a look here. We got the key-in PWK. I believe this is a 36 millimeter. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's interesting. They used a key-in that has the throttle position sensor spot on it, but then they block it off with a Beta USA block off. Now, I'm sure that's because the non-race edition comes with oil injection. So instead of having two different carburetors, one that is a blank and then one that, anyway, they just use one carburetor and then they just block it off. So that's actually really cool. It's a smart way to do business. Instead of buying hundreds of one kind and hundreds of another kind, you just buy thousands of one kind and then you just buy, you know, make some cool little plates and block that off. Again, it's one of the things I like about the race models is that you've got just premix and KYB forks, and it's a really nice package. V-Force 4 reeds, which are really, really, really nice. Definitely better than, I mean, KTM's coming with what, I'm not sure who builds them, but they've had problems with the reeds. And actually, quick little thing, I just had a guy on the internet get a hold of me and let me know that he was having a problem with his 23-300, and it ended up being that it had chipped reeds, like right from the factory. So that's not awesome, but whatever, it happens. This already has an RK Tech insert in it, so we've already jetted and everything. This for the RK Tech, it is a thirsty little beast. He says that the reserve is at about 40 miles and it's run all the way out at about 52. So it does not get great mileage and it doesn't go very far in a tank of gas. Partially that's because the RK Tech head wants to burn a lot more gas because of its efficiency and everything like that. So, but it does run really, really, really good, which is cool. And we'll talk about that when we actually go ride it. It's got a thermostat. I don't like that much. I don't know why they put thermostats in dirt bikes, except for to keep the temperature up, which is fine if it's fuel injected and it's reading temp to change the fueling. But on a carbureted bike, unless you're just riding in super, super, super cold weather, you just don't need that. But and it's a fail point. It's plastic. I don't love that. So if this were mine, I'd definitely be getting a kit, a hose kit that deleted that. It has the funky beta clutch slave cylinder inside the cover. Also not my favorite, but seems to be good. All you beta guys out there seem to have zero problems with that. So I'm going with you. I'm going to say that it's fine, and I'm sure it is. But honestly, my biggest concern is that, like, you would hit this thing, it's just sticking out there, that might get knocked off and be not awesome. And then obviously if you have a failure, I don't know if you have to replace the whole cover or you can pull it out. I think someone answered that before, and I apologize. I can't remember. But again, it's not a big deal. It's whatever. It's just the way they do it. It is different. Starter motor, guys, is right there. Looks like probably just as much of a pain in the butt to get out as a KTM. Maybe someone can comment here whether or not you can remove that without taking the motor out of the frame. You really can't do it on the KTM. You got to, like, at least rock the motor up, if not take it out. But I like the fact that it's coming in from the side and just spinning this. It's not the weird abortion thing that KTM did and Gas and Reju do. So yeah, anyway, that's pretty cool. This is kind of interesting, guys, to me. I like this. It looks like they did a very good job of bundling and tying that up. All the wiring harness is there, out of the way. Seems like a good thing. I know that's not like a huge deal for a lot of folks, but as a mechanic and a guy that works on these things, if this were mine, I was taking it apart, you know, back and forth and whatever. I like the fact that it looks like the tank is not going to be hitting that or causing any kind of problems as you come on and off. It's got Nissan brakes, just like a Yamaha. It looks like the old style caliper from the pre-08 YZs. Doesn't matter. It's a great caliper. No problems, whatever. It just, I'm pretty sure that's the older style. It's a little bit bigger than the newer ones. Again, I've already mentioned it, but KYB forks, SSS forks, they're awesome. We don't need to talk about those because everybody knows they are the best in the business, especially once you valve them. It's got a power valve adjuster, much like a KTM. I like that. That's nice, easy to get to. And it looks like it uses a hex instead of the funky little square drive. So most people might have an Allen that would work in that instead of, like, on the KTMs having to buy a separate part. So congratulations. Linkage, in case anybody wants to see it, pretty standard setup, no big deal. Swing arm, guys. The swing arms on these seem to be really nice. They're already either powder coated or some sort of coating on them, so they're definitely They look nice, and I think they're a little more durable than the bare aluminum. They feel like they're not the super lightweight. My new bike, I already have a big dent in my swing arm, and it's probably because they're trying to be super lightweight. Also, there's lots of stories of 23 KTM swing arms breaking in endurocross. I hope that doesn't happen to me. Let's see. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're watching this, make sure you comment below if you have any questions, anything you really want to see about this bike that I don't cover in these videos, or I haven't yet covered and you want me to cover in a future one. Anyway, make sure you ask questions below. I will, like I said, dive deep into this thing. Garrett has given me free reign to do whatever riding-wise and all that stuff. So thank you, Garrett, again. I will try not to break it. All right, well, I think that's about it. Actually, here's interesting. It's not, I don't know, no big deal, but that's the ignition coil. It definitely looks a little on the old school side, but I'm sure it works. All it has to do is spark, right? So it doesn't really matter that it's old school. I do like the position. It's protected. There's nothing's gonna hit or anything like that, which most of them are, but I like that, and it's easy to get to if you did have a problem, need to replace it. It's super simple. Oh, here's something I was just talking to a friend of mine about. Why on earth is Beta putting a steering lock on their stuff? I mean, really, guys? Anyway, whatever. Let's put the gas tank back on this thing and fire it up and see what it sounds like. Guys, real quick note, I just want to let you guys know, I weighed this thing. It's full of gas, and with mooses and all the stuff on it, it's 243 pounds. So I would call that ready to race. 243, that's pretty lightweight. I mean, it's not just nothing, but it's pretty stinking light, actually, compared to a lot of I mean, that bike right there is 260, the 300, maybe actually 260, a little over 260. And I think my new 300 is pretty close to that too. So definitely lightweight, which is pretty awesome. Quick note, all this nonsense, because it's got a light and all that stuff, not a huge fan of this stuff, but I mean, it's no big deal. I think this for mine, I'd probably be taking all this off and putting just an on and off switch for the lights. And then just kind of also not my favorite start stop, but again, no big deal. It's not a deal breaker. It's just, you know, letting you guys know. So let's fire this thing up. Choke on. Starts right up. Nice quiet motorcycle, honestly. The motor's quiet, exhaust is quiet. I like that a lot. I love my new 23 because it sounds nasty and mean and all that, but honestly, for the future of the sport and all that, I'd rather have it be a little quieter, but it still sounds good. All right, right on. Like I said before, it has a map switch for rain or sun, so it's either a little probably retarded ignition for the rain map, a little advanced ignition for the sun map, a little more aggressive. Pretty awesome, guys. I'm really excited about riding this bike, getting out on it, and sharing it with you guys, so you guys can either make an informed decision on a new bike in the future, or you know, things to do to your Beta if you already have one. Another thing I really like about Betas is that they have the option to install a Kickstarter. Garrett hasn't done that. Maybe I can talk him into doing that while it's here, but I love the fact that that's an option. I wish that was like that on my bike. I don't know, honestly, if I would put it on there. I just like knowing that I can. I probably would put it on there as a backup, especially since this bike and my new bike will run without a battery. That's a good thing. So yeah, another win for Beta on there. A lot of things I like about this motorcycle. Oh, real quick, sweet triple clamps, really nice billet triple clamps, and it's got adjustable bar mounts. I like that a lot. That's really cool. The new KTM does not have that. You can switch it, so it's got one position, but this has at least 2 holes plus the bar mounts. So anyway, That's cool. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and all my videos. It really does mean a lot. I hope you like it. Make sure you subscribe if you're excited about watching what we do with this bike, to this bike, and comparing it to all the other stuff. Love you guys. Get out and pop some wheelies.